song is it here?
I don't know.
I don't know the soundtrack well enough. But I can hear the song in my mind, but I forgot what it's called. But yeah, that's why we're getting silence, because licensed soundtrack.
Strange 2, Chapter 2, music.
Your slip up does remind me of the way that architectural stylings of synagogues, churches, and mosques were historically very influenced by each other. Yes, you're right. Also, another fun fact. So I'm working on a video that will probably also come out early 2024 on Assassin's Creed, and I'm going to be talking about things like historical fiction, common myths, and ideas about Palestine, and also the issue of kind of like freedom of movement within games and within the Palestinian context. And one of there are 2 Palestinian cities that you spend a lot of time in Assassin's Creed, the original game.
Mm.
It's set during the Crusades, 1191. The 2 Palestinian cities are Akka, which at that time was occupied by the Crusaders. So there's a lot going on there. And Jerusalem, or as it's called in Arabic, Al-Quds, which is such a beautiful and diverse city. So they recreate Jerusalem of 1191, and there are churches, there are synagogues, there are mosques, and it's really, and there are so many different kinds of people there, different skin tones, different, it's such a beautiful, such a diverse city, and I think it really it's something to always remember that
we made it, Daniel.
Palestine has always been a place that's been very diverse and welcoming to people.
It's been a long
diverse,
time since I was here.
Cultural and religious backgrounds.
Before you were born.
Someone decided to make it
an ethno-state.
An ethno-state.
Yep. Which is literally the opposite of how Israel operates. It is quite literally
come here.
The least diverse.
Yeah, because diversity is antithetical to having an ethno-state.
Dad said she got pissed because he let me bring a snowball in the house.
Also, it's the holy land for all 3 religions.
Yeah.
You don't want to look like
I was just going to say it's Mount Wolf Red.
Okay, that's the song that just played.
Yeah.
Okay, let's meet our white grandparents.
Get into it. Hello, Arthur. God, the cat's already going mad today.
What if they went on vacation? Or something.
We'll figure out something.
Saf, I swear to God.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there are more than 3 religions, but I don't remember how I phrased it exactly, but
No, I think you said those religions are connected.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we don't want any of...
I always think her hair looks like a Sims.
To those 3 religions.
Hello, Claire.
Yeah.
Sean?
Her hair looks like Sims hair.
Is that...
It does a little bit.
Daniel?
I do always think playing Life is Strange 1, I'm like...
Look who's here!
Saf!
After all this time.
Playing the first Life is Strange, I always think they look like Sims because of the, just the way they're,
Steven, watch your
designed.
Mouth.
Well... It's kind of a long story.
Oh, you poor thing. You know he's sick, right?
Okay, they're antagonizing him right off the bat, right?
Inside.
Instantly.
Both
you know he's sick, right? Of course he fucking knows.
Also, Stephen being like, what the hell are you doing here? And
yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think the idea that they instantly antagonize and they instantly criminalize their own grandchildren, because before they, just for the record, before they see them as their own grandchildren or even human beings, they see them as criminal, evil, Mexican boys.
Yeah.
Hey, is it warm enough for you?
Oh, yeah. Feels nice and toasty.
I gave Daniel some cough medicine. But you should have taken better care of him.
Shut the
He could have
oh my
been
God.
worse. You were lucky.
I'm about to lose my shit.
Stephen,
And it's been 2 seconds.
may I
Literally.
talk to you for a second?
I'm sorry, there's something about that fucking tie-dye, like, gilet that she's wearing, like, little vest thing. It just pisses me off. It just really annoys me. It feels violent. It's like the kind of, like, hippie ethnic culture.
Oh my
without the, like,
God.
that's what I always think of when I think of, like, that kind of colorway of tie-dye. It really makes me think of, like, oh my God, what's the shop?
Maybe we should call
Like People Tree and places like that where they're just like ethnicity for white people, you know? As in like, oh sorry, you're trying to listen.
Other people.
We have to do something.
A police officer was killed. Claire, you know. Our grandchildren are wanted by the police for murder.
I know. What if Sean is guilty? Sleeping in our home. Next to us.
Wow.
Let's just ask him what happened. And we'll figure something out. Okay?
All right, Stephen. Oh, Lord.
A police officer was killed. Our grandchildren have been convicted of the murder of a police officer. What if Sean is guilty sleeping in our home? That's obviously horrifically racist.
Yeah.
You all right, honey? You
But
want
then
more tea?
performing
Thanks.
this like care.
I'm good.
Ugh.
Well,
Knife emoji.
Sean,
For real.
you want to talk about
The police called us a few weeks ago. They're looking for you as suspects in a homicide and for assault and robbery
And
in a
obviously we
gas
believe
station.
the police and not you,
Yeah.
our grandchildren, who are young racialized boys.
Yeah.
who the police would
If you want us
target.
to help you, did you hurt that police officer in Seattle?
Will only help you if you didn't.
Oh, did I? You know, I don't even know what I said in that video essay. It's been so long. One of these days I'll rewatch it. It's so tempting to just get angry.
Yeah.
What did they say exactly?
They said something along the lines of like, if you did do it, like, let us know, basically. But it was like couched in like, if you want us to help you, you need to tell us, kind of thing. You made a lot of great points. There you go.
Thanks.
The way they assume if Sean did kill the cop, then he would be violent to them. Yeah. It's fucking...
Honestly, I think that in a way the best response is seriously, because
Saf.
what you're like.
No.
No,
She got
no.
embarrassed. She was like doing a little meerkat and then...
No.
No. If you're
No,
gonna
no,
be
no.
annoying, you can't come up here.
No. But I feel like the response seriously is like responding to it with the appropriate amount of like being offended and like pissed off about it, but also being like, you know, how could you think that? Like, and how could you think in this way? Wow.
Arthur! Oh my god.
The cats are being so wild today.
What's going on? Is it a full moon? Like, what's the situation?
It's not, because I saw the moon last night and I think it was like half
Oh,
moon.
well, dunno then. Mercury's in retrograde and they're losing their shit.
Yeah, so I guess obviously fucking bullshit is a tempting response, but I think
Yeah.
that the thing about seriously is that it's the appropriate level of like, I'm mad about this,
But also,
like calling out like,
Contradicting them in the appropriate way, I think.
yeah, being like, how horrific that you would think this, like, do you seriously think that? Like,
Yeah, like,
and like
I am a
challenging
child.
them,
Yeah.
like a bit more, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Seriously? You really think I killed that cop?
No, don't get mad, Sean. We have to ask.
Oh, fuck.
We only know what we saw in the news.
Why I order?
All I know is that
There's a definite Palestine
He shot
parallel
dead.
there.
Mm-hmm.
We only know what we saw in the
now
news.
he's gone.
Don't get
Oh,
mad.
sweetie. We are so sorry for what happened to your father.
Take your fucking hand away from me.
Why did you run away if you're innocent?
I have like, you know, people in my comments on that video who defended like Claire and Stephen, like I see red. I was like, I couldn't even engage with that shit because I was like seeing red.
No. No.
Literally crazy. But then a lot of people have like a wild time with me. I wouldn't even say defending Karen.
No.
Because I'm not like leveling a defense of Karen. Actually, Karen is amazing.
No.
But like,
It's more of a like reflection on she is doing the work and I appreciate that she's doing the work.
yeah, which is like,
Like not a
Like-
pro Karen take. Like
yeah,
it's
but
just
I'm also not like anti Karen.
no, it's a Karen neutral take.
Yeah.
Like you just want it to be better for these boys. Like
and I see her trying, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that. And
Yeah.
I think that maybe some white people could take a leaf out of that. But
yeah, I think I
But-
definitely like I know we talked about it last week, but like I think it informs like my own like journey in that as well. Like,
Yeah.
obviously I do not have children, definitely not racialized children, although you know Saf maybe I don't know. I don't know her background. I know she came from a Bangladeshi household, so you know.
she's about to do a shit, I think.
Yeah, I think she is. Prepare, but
It's kind of wild though. Like I distinctly remember like a bunch of people in my comments on that video would defend Claire and Stephen, but really like be shook that I was like neutral, like Karen neutral to pro Karen.
yeah.
I'm like,
Maybe it's just that her name is Karen. And
I'm
they
like,
just got confused
when
by
it
that.
when it where it comes to Karen, I'm
Well,
left
she
of
just
center.
peed. All is well.
When it comes to Karen, I'm like left of center.
Yeah.
but not.
You're not
All the
hard.
way.
You're not hard left, but you're
When
like.
it comes to everything else, I'm hard left.
it
All the way left. Why did you run away if you're innocent? Yeah, like this is one of the most like classic racist narratives ever.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to talk a little bit about the fact that like obviously such a huge part of what we've been hearing right now like is people like trying to justify the genocide of Palestinians by being like, well, you know, they've done all of this horrible stuff, like they elected Hamas, they you know, like always rejected peace, they like blah blah blah, all of these things. And like there's obviously the fact that like the mainstream media has like a racist narrative that it's putting forth to you for a reason to justify this genocide. And in the case of like the, you know, the way that the US media like paints this image of like young black men or young men of color or young Muslim men as being like terrorists or being like adultified or being criminals or like blah blah blah, is so that they can justify the like systematic murder of these young men of color by like the police, by you know, mass incarceration, like blah blah blah. So there's a strong parallel in that, and we can see like a global system of white supremacy and how it affects like young racialized men at play there. But also like I would say like even if Sean had killed that cop,
Yeah.
I'd still be on his side.
Yeah.
But
100%.
also he didn't fucking kill the cop.
Yeah.
But
And also Claire and Stephen's assumption that he did, no matter what, is racist.
yeah, they
Like assuming that a 16-year-old has killed a grown person
who's armed.
who's armed.
An unarmed 16-year-old
Yeah.
somehow killed. Yeah.
Like, I feel like most loving parents would, or grandparents would not immediately jump to the conclusion that Sean did it. Even
Yeah.
if he did do it, that they would not believe that of him.
Yeah, yeah. And again, I think you can see the same thing in the Palestinian case, because recently, like, obviously there's been the hostage exchange. A lot of people are not asking why Israel had so many imprisoned Palestinians to exchange in the first place.
And
but
they haven't released all of them, have they?
no, because
Yeah, it's
they,
like
they
still
released
loads,
they
like
released
200 or something.
they released like 250 or something like
Yeah.
that. They literally have thousands and thousands of Palestinians like illegally
Saf.
incarcerated.
Why? You never want to come on this desk normally, and today
Today is the day.
is the day. Okay.
Well, so in Israel is like to my knowledge, because like I've heard this said before, it needed to be substantiated, but to my knowledge, it is the only place in the world that tries children in military courts. Because like the apartheid system in Israel, one of its features is that Palestinians are subject to military law, and Israelis are subject to civil law, which is apartheid.
Yeah.
Like literally apartheid, one group of rules for one people, one group of rules for another people. But literally thousands and thousands of Palestinians are in captivity in Israel. And a lot of them have, like, literally don't have any criminal charges.
Yeah.
But again, even if they did, like, it's still
They
fucking
shouldn't
wrong.
be that.
But like, you know, for example, many children are incarcerated in Israeli prisons for stone throwing. That's a criminal offense.
Jesus.
in Israel, but
Christ.
obviously killing a Palestinian child is not a criminal offense.
No.
And it's I think it's one of the things that, like, when people have been talking about the prisoner exchange, one of the things that's been coming up in the well-meaning attempt to humanize Palestinians is like, we shouldn't talk about Palestinian prisoners, we should talk about Palestinian hostages. And it's kind of the same problem that I have with people who said we shouldn't talk about Gaza being an open-air prison, we should talk about it being a concentration camp. In both cases, both descriptors are true,
Yeah.
but the argument that people have is like, prison or prisoners implies that someone's done something wrong, so they deserve it.
Yeah.
And I fundamentally don't believe that.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you believe that, then what you believe is that what prisons are for is for, like, giving just deserved punishment to evil people. And there are so many levels on which that is not true.
Yeah.
So when we are reshaping our thinking about Palestinian prisoners, we have to be reshaping our thinking about prisons in general, like, and incarceration in general. But yeah, I mean, this whole thing of like, why did you run if you're innocent, is also a good example of how people naturalize the idea that the criminal justice system
Is just.
is just.
And obviously it comes with an assumption that the rules are the same for racialized people.
Yeah, and obviously.
And I mean, we talked about this, like, I said that if I were in the situation that Sean and Daniel were in, obviously not necessarily with the context of, like, playing this game, I'd probably not run. I would probably be able to have the luxury of just trusting the justice system to an extent. A, because I'm white, and B, because I'm a woman, and I feel like the assumptions in terms of what I would be capable of doing are very different. Even though, obviously, Sean has been, like, adultified and he is 16. By perception, I would be considered... Like, I don't know if I would run, you know, if I would, like, actually stay, because I still don't trust the justice system, obviously, like the criminal justice system, but in a moment of panic without much critical thinking, I can see me still defaulting to that.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, is really important, because that is obviously Claire's mentality in this moment, because she would be able to just trust, or she thinks she would be able to trust the criminal justice system.
She trusts the criminal justice system, which is a white supremacist
Yeah.
system, more than she trusts her own grandchildren.
Yeah.
That's, like, really key
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's the most
Like,
stark
trusting their
way.
experience and trusting their, like, again, I don't love the word innocence in this context, but, like, trusting their innocence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm personally of the protect Daniel. To protect Daniel.
I feel like
none of these are good. Like, I don't know.
well, I
had no
I don't
choice
wanna,
to protect Daniel.
I don't want to think about. I don't want to frame my thinking around how they're going to react.
No. Okay.
Because I think they're going to be shitty about all of them.
Yeah.
I don't
I think it's to protect Daniel is the reason he ran.
I also don't think they had a choice.
Yeah. I think it's all of these, right? Like...
Yeah, it is all of these, but like...
I'm happy with either, like, Y or B. I think.
Yeah. I don't know, she obviously just, like, doesn't understand that, like... She doesn't understand that the only choice in that situation is to run because she, like, believes that the criminal justice system is, like, righteous and good.
Yeah.
So I think that one for me, like, emphasizes challenging that belief.
Had no choice?
Yeah, I could go either way, but that's my inclination.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Okay.
We had no choice. The cops would have blamed me for everything.
Yeah.
I know it.
Well, Sean, now the police do blame you.
Shut the fuck up.
You know the police would separate us. Maybe forever. Daniel would end up in foster care.
Yeah, there's that too.
You can't be sure, Sean. Anyway, at least you've managed to
I can be
come
pretty
home
fucking
alive.
sure in comparison to, like, our safety.
I'm glad you two are okay.
Yeah, I can be pretty fucking sure, you absolute idiot.
I hate to think what could have happened to both of you.
Oh my god.
What has happened?
You
Talk
need
about what
to
has
think
fucking
long-term
happened.
solutions now.
I tried.
You need to think of them as well. Like, not
swear.
we're gonna help you. It's you need
Yeah,
to do
it's
it.
like
can't
you
do
need to
everything.
do. Yeah, that's so true.
So, what are your plans?
So, like, again, no part of them are like, I'm gonna take care of my grandchildren.
No, there is literally no care given whatsoever
Yeah,
to
like-
Sean.
Like, my grandchildren are literally children, and I am an adult. And also, I'm
Arthur?
an adult
He's licking your bowl.
who, as a white person, is in a position of power. So
Yeah.
there's a couple of levels here. I should be the one who's taking on the responsibility to take care of my grandchildren because nobody else is going to do that.
Yeah.
Instead, it's like, how are you going to solve this? How are you going to take care of yourself? Which is a really astute observation that you've made. But I think it's like telling of the racist thinking, because it's like the adultification
Yeah.
of Sean.
It's like they've
and-
completely adultified Sean, like, completely. And yeah, like, it's like, even if he wasn't an adult, even if he was an adult, they do still have a duty of care to him as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's really hard as well. Like, I know that, like, you know, obviously I don't have grandparents alive, but I know that I can go to my family for a level of, like, help that should be a given. Like, it's not always a given, but it should be a fucking given. Like, it should be a given, even as an adult, even if they see him as an adult, which is shit that they do, that they still don't think that they should be responsible for him
Yeah, you're right.
as a parental figure in his life.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Like, yes, it sucks, like, that they use that violence of, like, adultification against him, but I think, yeah, the fact that they still, even if they consider him as an adult, they still act the way they do is fucking shameful.
Yeah.
And, like, that is not family. You know?
Yeah. They just suck so bad. Like, I really, like, I find it so difficult to... I mean, I on a level, I understand that, like, many white people and even some other people of color, like, live in a completely different universe to me. But, like, I find it so shocking that you can have these interactions
And not
in the
hate
game
them.
and not feel, like,
Violent.
angry and, like, you're being gaslit and
Yeah.
you're being, like, treated terribly because you are.
Yeah. Like, this should make you angry. Even, like, whatever your family situation, this should make you angry.
Oh my god, yeah. It doesn't make any sense to be anti-psych, but not a prison abolitionist. It
Yeah.
literally makes zero sense.
Yeah, like, being anti-psych is part of the prison industrial complex. Like, that is...
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's interesting because this idea, like, it's unfair that they treat us like criminals, that you...
Still think criminals deserve to be treated like that.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, hot take, but I don't think that criminals deserve to be treated as less than human.
No.
And also, like, this category criminal is, like...
What is... Yeah. I mean, it is
It's literally someone who breaks the law.
a big assumptive word for... that covers a lot of different definitions as well.
Exactly. It's someone who breaks the law.
Yeah.
By that definition, many people who have done a vast array of things that literally, like, cannot be compared.
Like,
are
if then, in
criminals.
that case, I'm a criminal. I
Yeah.
have done things that are not lawful.
Most
Most
real,
people
most
have. You know?
But, like, who gets incarcerated and who doesn't?
Yeah.
Like, and why?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So again, like, a really important thing for the Palestinian case. Like, if I hear people say, like, oh, they're treating us, you know, the Palestinians are being treated like criminals, they're being incarcerated even though they're not criminals.
Neither should criminals.
Criminals also should not be
Yeah.
incarcerated. Nobody should be treated like that. Yeah.
It's not helpful or, like... It's not the right starting point to think of, like, Palestinian liberation.
No.
Okay.
I don't want to tell. I
don't want to tell
I
them.
don't want to tell them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it out. I just want to watch out for Daniel. Wait for him to get better. Before we take the road again.
How can you look out for your brother if you're both running from the police?
I don't know, maybe you could fucking help.
You two are gonna stay with us.
Yeah, but that's not help.
Stephen. Maybe we should...
After your mother left, your dad never really wanted us in your life.
No shit.
Gee,
can't
I
believe
wonder
it.
why.
But you're still part of our family.
I love how they put it on their daughter, not on the fact that they are horrible people. Like, they're like, no, it's our daughter's fault that your dad didn't want to talk to us.
I think
not
they're
our racism.
Yeah, I think that their implication is like, oh, like, the reason why Esteban didn't want us is because, like, it was too painful when he wasn't with Karen anymore. But it's like, maybe it's because you're fucking racist. And, like,
And I mean, the
when
reason
he
that
was...
Karen doesn't talk to you is because you're fucking racist.
So,
And,
yeah,
like,
among other things.
horrible.
And, like, yeah, it's quite funny because, like, I can't imagine Esteban being the kind of person that would, like, cut that relationship just because Karen left.
No.
Actually.
No. Absolutely
Like, I
not.
think that if he actually, like, liked having them around and
He
stuff,
would.
that he would have kept them.
If
And
he wanted
would've-
to, he would.
He literally though, and like I think that like he would have wanted his kids to like have a bigger family.
Absolutely.
And, like, stuff like that.
Again, it's something that
That's
he like
speculation, but
misses
still.
in America as well. So like, yeah.
Yeah, like that's mostly speculation,
America.
but that is like how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to thank them.
No.
Oh, really? Aren't you scared? The police already called you.
Lordy, yes. But we were also scared for you.
That's why you'll have to be careful.
I think it's because like this
Either
kind of
create
piano
the
music
small
and like the
and
way this is portrayed as like
nosy.
we're gonna help you. It's so nice. I think that's a lot of
We
why
can
people
stay?
like forgive them more.
Serious?
Is this
It's
like
framed
framed
in a-
as like a
Ooh, Sean.
benevolence?
Guess what?
It's true.
There's a huge model train upstairs.
Hey,
I think it's really cute that
you're
he's
supposed
wearing
to
his
be
mom's
resting, young
pajamas.
I know.
Yeah.
A
Yes,
babby
he
boy.
is. But he seems better already.
I think he just needed to be in the
Anyway,
warm.
you and Daniel will stay here.
Well,
At
again, it's
least
how
until
crazy
Daniel's
how
better.
like when you give a person
We'll
like
see
food
what
and
happens
shelter and
next.
water,
Suddenly they feel so much better.
rest, that they
So
feel better.
I bet you're hungry.
Crazy.
Makes me think of
Let me
like
fix you
Izan
something.
at the moment.
Yeah.
And she is ill. And yeah, like having access to proper food and like rest and warmth and comfort would probably go such a long way, but instead I really hope she doesn't, but like exposure is like such
How
a
do you
huge
feel?
danger, and
Super
she
well.
is
Wait.
she is without
nice and
proper
warm in here.
food and without
And the
proper
food?
water
Yum.
and like
Yeah,
yeah.
feels good.
Yeah, for people who don't know,
Feeling
Bisan
better?
is Palestinian.
You look cozy.
Yeah.
who's been documenting
I love that bed.
what's been happening on the ground in Gaza. I
Thanks,
would really
Grandma.
recommend following
Good.
her.
Your
on all
temperature's down.
accounts.
I'm way better now.
You still
Her-
need to take it easy.
Her
How about if we
What's
say
the
a
word
little
I'm looking
prayer
for?
and give thanks?
handle
It's like a bedtime
is
story.
wizard_Bisan.
Well, this is a
I'm just gonna pause just while we.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. No, you really
Wizard
don't need to
underscore
apologise.
Bisan 1, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I think that I've been finding it really important to, like, Bisan has been, I think you, obviously, understandably, you can see her becoming increasingly unwell and also increasingly angry and, like, demoralized.
Yeah.
And I've been finding it really important to, and not just her, others as well, but, like, I think that she's been one of the people that I would say is really talking about her emotions.
Yeah.
And I've been finding it really important to sit with that and, like, read her posts and watch her videos and really sit with what she's feeling and what she's going through. Like, I don't think, like, she's not even a journalist. She was a travel writer before this happened.
Yeah, and
Travel
she like
blogger.
had dreamed of having her own production company.
Yeah.
And yeah, like she made a post, I think today or yesterday, saying how sick she is and that she basically, like, saying kind of a potential goodbye. I mean, obviously every day is a sort of potential goodbye, but, like, this one felt more.
Well, because how is she going to be able to get better?
Yeah, this is it. It just doesn't seem to be, like, she has an infection, like a viral infection, and, like, yeah, like, what can you do in that situation? Nothing.
Yeah, like,
Arthur, read the fucking room.
they don't have food, they don't have drinkable water, they don't have shelter, it's the middle of winter, they don't have medicine, like...
Yeah, it just... Yeah.
bit like this, yes. Except the story comes from up there.
The ceiling.
So are we ready to pray?
He's like, lol, the
Just
ceiling?
follow my
What?
lead.
I mean, again, for consistency, we said yes, so I guess we have to pray with her, sadly. I'd rather not pray with her,
No,
but
yeah, I'm not against praying, but I'm not super for praying with her.
Sure. We need all the help we can get.
Can you ask to bless Dad? And Sean. And Mushroom. And you and Grandpa. And, everybody else.
Oh my, you are so sweet.
He's a baby boy. Saf, why are these cats so bad at reading the room?
Honestly.
Fucking hell.
Thank you,
I
Lord.
feel like Saf used to be better at it,
Bring
and she's
Sean and
truly
Daniel
just...
safe and sound into our house. Take care of Esteban and Mushroom. Please give us the strength to get over the hardships of the past and the trials yet to come. Amen.
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 Okay. It's bedtime. Try to get
Touch
some
my
rest. You
sons.
still need it.
Those are my sons.
I'm not roughhousing in here.
No worries. We're too tired. Good night. Oh, and thanks again.
Don't think.
Good night, Grandma.
It's bare minimum. And she's been shit to you ever since you walked through the door.
Also, again, something to think about in this game, I think, is the fact that, like, Claire and Steven have, like, so much resources, and they're so, like, stingy about their resources.
I mean, it's
Feels so
that.
nice
Again,
to
we
have
go back
that
into
again.
waspy whiteness. Like,
Yeah.
fucking hell.
Whereas, like,
And
we
the
meet
bathroom.
people in this
I
game
hear
who
that.
have nothing.
Yeah.
And are so willing to
They're
give.
so
Yeah.
generous.
Whatever.
Yeah, they are so...
Well-
yeah, stingy is the word.
Claire
Like,
seems pretty
and it is
caring.
very...
And nice.
It's very white culture vibes.
Definitely nice too.
Yeah.
I hope we'll be fine here.
I think so.
After the scene, you want a quick
And the
break?
more important
Yeah.
Do
thing,
with the toilet and stuff.
Yeah.
she'll have time to get better.
Sean,
Yeah, I might get some little snacks.
are we in Mom's old room?
Nah, I don't think this is the
Yum
one.
yum yum.
Not from what I remember. It's been a while.
Could we check it out tomorrow? Maybe find some of her stuff?
I'd much rather ask why.
Yeah, me too. I don't want to dismiss him.
No.
Why would you want to do that?
I just don't know anything about her.
Daniel, I understand. But we need to focus on where we are now and where we're off to. Mom left us. She made her choice. We gotta make ours. And we can't keep going back. You know what I mean?
I really sympathize with
Yeah.
how both of them feel about their mother.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I can
Yes.
totally get Daniel's curiosity.
Amen.
And I completely get
You've
Sean's
been doing so
anger.
great with your... Well... You know. I was wondering... How do you do it?
I don't know. I concentrate and it just happens.
Not sure. What do you want to ask?
I feel like if I were Sean, I would be more like... I think I would rather ask, does it hurt? Because I would want to check in that care aspect, especially as he's been helping him train. Like,
Yeah.
if it did hurt and Daniel has not been telling him, then that's something I would want to know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But also,
I'm happy to do that.
yeah, like I don't feel like I need to like make him feel like a big man, you know, like I've already said, like he's doing really well with it, so like it's fine.
Also, I think probably he wants someone to show concern rather than make him feel like a big man as well.
Yeah.
Wait. Does it hurt?
Nah. It's kinda itchy though. And exhausting.
Sorry.
Itchy, huh?
Anyway,
Interesting.
remember
It makes
the
sense
rule,
that it would
right?
be tiring.
Yeah,
We
definitely.
really
the
don't
itch-
want
itchy
Claire or
is-
Stephen to start asking questions.
Yeah.
I know.
I wonder, I mean, we have some idea
sure
how
don't
Max felt when
Just
she
keep
used her
that in
power,
mind
based on the headaches and
Everything
the
should be
nosebleeds.
fine.
Yeah. Big old consequences for that action.
I actually
Okay.
I feel like when I play Life is Strange and you can visibly see Max like in excruciating pain, I'm
Yeah.
always like, oh, Maxine.
Her and her lack of self-preservation, am I right?
Maxine.
Maxine. Returned with snakes.
Dang, imagine overextending myself. Yeah, I don't want to, like, sometimes I think about Max Caulfield and I want to, like, face palm, but in a specific way where I'm thinking about the things about her that remind me of me. Yeah. Her and Chloe are the no self-preservation soulmates at all.
Yeah, but like protecting each other. So
Yeah, no self-preservation, but preserve girlfriend.
yeah,
When you only have...
which is the only way they
pleasure
stay alive. Honestly, is
Honestly.
just protecting each other.
being together and being like, must protect a girlfriend. I think that in a way that works out, so...
Yeah, it's not the worst situation. At least it's not like one person's doing the self-preservation and the other person's not.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And doing the other people preservation.
Yeah.
At least it's equal.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like that's like mine and Chris's dynamic a fair bit, I would say. I feel like most people would probably feel that way.
Really?
Well, I don't know. Haven't given it much thought.
I this is really shocking. Like, I, to this day, find this really shocking. But some people are actually, like, quite well adjusted.
Ew. What the fuck?
I know, shocking.
Oh. Ugh.
What's that like? Okay.
Can't relate.
Okay, alright. Time to hang out with the grandparents.
Woo.
Those are meant to be Christmas colours, but I'm choosing to believe they are Palestinian flag colours.
I mean, Claire would never, but yeah.
No, she would not.
Where was Claire on January 6th? That's all I'm saying.
January. Do you?
When the like racists stormed the Capitol.
Oh, okay.
You know when people are like,
Okay,
where are they
yeah,
on January 6th? You
I
know,
was, I was
Long
just
in this
like,
bed.
why is that one?
January
Okay,
6th of
where was
whatever
she
year
on
it
January?
was.
No, it's
Yeah.
a good question. It's a good question. And based on what we know about Stephen, as well.
Yeah.
Um,
That was Stephen.
where was Stephen with his fucking like MAGA hat? Are people still like leaping to Stephen's defense when they found out that he's like,
Fucking Republican.
yeah, and like even if you didn't have the like evidence of him being a Trump supporter, because like I'm not the kind of person who thinks that like you're like,
This is pretty
evil
good so far.
if you're a Republican,
I love that Steven
or
only has crime and train books.
thinks that Democrats are any better than Republicans or like blah blah blah. But like, I mean, having a "Make America Great Again" hat is a pretty like clear sign of the racism, even
Wonder
if
if
people
Brody
weren't
noticed
picking
his
up on
Hula
all of
Girl
the
was
other
missing.
signs of the racism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what the toy that Daniel stole from Brody was.
Oh, he stole a toy from Brody?
Yeah, that little like wiggle hula girl.
I think stealing from Brody
Wonder
is
if
fine.
Brody
Brody's
noticed
got a
his
lot.
Hula Girl was missing.
It's
Also-
politically correct to steal from Brody.
I also think it's correct to steal the hula girl from Brody because
Yeah.
Brody is a white man.
Yeah.
Free her.
Thanks,
Free her.
Claire, but I will never wear these things.
I was gonna say I want someone to Photoshop Kafia on Mushroom, Sean, and Daniel, and do a little fan cam to Anna Demi Falastini.
I love that.
Beaver
Alright.
Creek Rescue and
I'm allowed
Fire
to go out
Department.
now.
Do you think that's Stevens?
Yeah. Something I found out from someone I went to uni. Well, no, he worked at the coffee shop I worked at. He was from New Jersey, I think.
Okay.
And he was telling me about how his local fire department is all volunteers. And that's
Oh.
a really common thing in the US.
Okay.
That fire departments are volunteers only. They don't get paid. Which at the time I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it's still, I'm like,
What the fuck?
what the fuck?
Yeah.
'Cause it's not like-
Yeah.
there's a lot of jobs where I'm like, oh yeah, volunteers for that. Makes sense, fine.
Okay, yeah.
Risking your fucking life
Yeah.
in fires? How is that a volunteer thing? But it's because obviously
Yeah.
there's no like social care, right? It's like a
Yeah.
So I wonder if Stephen was part of like a volunteer fire group.
It's cool
I
he
guess
took us
so.
in, but how long are we gonna stay here?
Or maybe not even a volunteer one, I don't know.
That's a cool memento of our secret cabbing in the woods.
Space toy.
Yep. Daniel knows how to milk Grandma for toys.
My question, so this isn't Karen's room, obviously.
He
deserves
So
to be
whose
spoiled.
room is this? That's my question.
I mean, they're white people who are clearly well off. I think they just have a spare room.
Room? Yeah, fair enough.
This is
Pretty fucking creepy. But also, is that toy, I feel like I remember this coming up in the fandom. Is that toy meant to look like Chris?
oh, what the?
Because he's blonde and he's got the,
Don't know. Maybe.
but I don't know.
Better hit the kitchen quick. Claire's waiting for us.
Fuck Claire.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Literally, she can wait. Look at his little face. R.I.P. Mush.
Also, if you keep calling that for cheating. I like the drawing of mushrooms. It's really lovely.
The elephant in the room is racism.
Yeah.
Oh, are those Daniel drawings?
I think so, yeah.
Reynolds rules. Yeah, that's also an interesting, like, the theme of rules, like the rules that their grandparents have and like the rules that Sean has for Daniel. And,
Mm-hmm.
and also, I guess, like the wider theme of the game and like how the law is a series of rules. That
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, I feel like, I know obviously, like, canonically Daniel is very good at art. Oh no, here we go.
Sean?
Sorry. Sean is canonically very good at art. But, like, these are really fucking good drawings
They are
for a
really fucking
16-year-old.
good,
Like,
yeah.
goddamn.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they are really good. Discretion.
Don't leave the house.
Disconnection. No phone or internet. Daily chores. Homework for Daniel. LMAO. Good luck with that, Claire. This is interesting because, in a way, this is house arrest,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like there's a way in which you could say that this is like.
This literal confinement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
So I mean, I guess you can link it to the broader themes about like criminal justice, because like the Reynolds version of helping them is to basically place them under house arrest,
yeah.
and which is obviously like one of the things that the criminal justice system does, and in one of the game endings you actually have like
Daniel ends
under house arrest in the Reynolds house.
Yeah. I'm like, how long for? We don't know.
Yeah.
He's like a lot older. It's been 5 years by that point, so.
But that's actually really interesting because it makes you think about how like these institutions like claim to be about like care or rehabilitation, but they're actually like just about like confinement or like their
violence.
In violence, and any supposed offer of safety is like conditional.
Yeah.
And yeah. Their version of helping is literally like policing, like and like
Sean!
they kind of like enforce the system in just like a particular way, right?
Breakfast's
Sorry.
almost done, so come down when you're ready, okay?
Okay.
Making sure that the chocolate is pre-sectioned.
Oh, careful, Chief. It's going too fast.
We have to. We're late on schedule.
Yeah, but we're gonna scare the passengers away.
Please help us.
I don't care. Faster.
Fuck. I broke this thing like 10 years ago. I can't believe they fixed it. And kept it.
Choo-choo. This is crazy. Why does Stephen have like a crazy train set?
Old white men. Honestly, old white men and their hobbies should be studied.
So
Pop us
true.
ahead. Hold your breath.
Every dad has at least 4 hobbies. And that's, no, well, maximum 4 hobbies.
Maximum.
Yeah.
Days, okay.
Yeah.
This is such a. Wow. Look
I
at this
feel
house.
I think of this house a lot in comparison to, obviously, we see Chloe's like living room a lot in Life is Strange 1, and it's obviously, it's like comfy, but it's not like opulent.
Well, their house is small because they're poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, this is just for 2 people, and yeah, okay, their daughter at one point, but like,
It's really huge, and also it's like really, really nice.
yeah,
Like,
it
it
is
can-
really nice.
You can
Look
see it's
who's awake.
expensive.
Yeah.
Like,
Good morning, sleepyhead.
It's that
Daniel, breakfast time.
Also, even in comparison
brother
to
is ready.
like Sean and Daniel and Esteban's house that we are in very
Steven,
briefly, it's like one
your
floor
grandson
and,
needs
like,
to eat now.
the
You
garage
can
for
show
his
him the
job,
boxcar
but, like, it's
later.
so much smaller.
Yeah.
I love how they're getting along.
Not offer help? I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is also what I would do.
Suffice to say, well, I mean, yeah. It's not what I want to do.
Do you need help or anything?
Oh, don't worry. I can do this in the dark. But thanks for the offer.
All right, all right.
Are you boys done playing?
We had a express delivery with the passengers, but the engine broke down.
Yep, has to go straight to the workshop.
Good.
It's also
No
like just kind
trains
of
in the
crazy
kitchen,
that like
remember?
the racist,
Gotcha,
like racist ideology and dehumanization goes so deep that there's like a kind of cognitive dissonance where they like both are like, these are my grandchildren and also like these are like evil criminal
Sugar.
Mexicans
Yeah.
at the same
He
time.
can fix his trains.
Yeah, and it's like
Not
very
my
conditional, right? It's like
You're my grandchildren if you like follow my idea of like
what you
what
should do.
people should be like.
Yeah.
Did I make enough? Everything's okay?
And again, white
It's great.
kids with
As
white
usual.
grandparents would not have
You're the
that
best cook ever.
concern.
Looks
No.
like you're getting cozy
like
with
being
this new country
dehumanized
life
if
after
they-
all.
Didn't follow rules. No, it'd still be an aspect potentially, but like as in-
Sometimes, depending on your
Not
parents,
racially.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely not the same. Like even if I would say that what Karen experienced from them is like partly it's their personalities. But like what Sean and Danielle experience as opposed to what Karen experiences, like there's similarities and there's differences. I think you can see the ways in which like
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Dustin Barry.
Like I think that there are ways that we can see that what Karen experiences is like really gendered, for example, especially because like I don't know, she doesn't feel right about the whole nuclear family thing, and she isn't sure if she even wants children, and like you see her looking kind of like miserable with long hair and with like you know, certain clothes and like blah 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 and these old pictures of her. And I think that especially because like I kind of read her based on some things later in the game as like potentially being like queer, or at least like being anti like a lot of things about cis heteropatriarchy.
I mean, I definitely think she is queer coded.
I think she's queer coded personally, yeah. Like I think that you can see how there's like a particular experience that she has because of being like a young, maybe queer woman being raised by parents like this. But like that's one of the ways, I guess it's one of the things that like one thing to take from it is the fact that like, you know, racism and misogyny and queerphobia often like go hand in hand, and that's like no surprise. But it's also like you can't, like that experience isn't like directly comparable to what Sean and Daniel are going through.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think that the kind of like the criminalization and the particular like racialized experience that they're having is very different. But there's a sense in which like they all experience from Claire and Stephen conditional love, like you follow my rules or like you're not my family.
Yeah, which is not love.
Which is not love.
It's not love or care. Like, yeah.
Sorry, we'll try our best. Thanks for flagging that.
Yeah,
I think
sorry.
sometimes we just get carried away with it.
Yeah, it's like one of us will just start saying something and then it just really pops off very quickly.
But we'll try to be mindful of that.
Okay.
Yeah. And we can
Just gonna finish
definitely
my
unpack.
crisps.
Yeah, no worries. We can definitely like we're around the house and we're in Karen's room and stuff. We can unpack that a bit more. But
Yeah. I mean, I doubt that Sean would want to be in the countryside that much.
yeah, I
Although-
don't really know. But
He doesn't seem to like being in Seattle, but like, at least in the suburbs. But he definitely, the way he expresses himself and the way that like his art, like you know, kind of we were talking about the like graffiti art style and stuff like that. I think generally he would probably prefer to be in a more like urban space.
yeah, I can definitely see that. I think I find it like hard to pin down how he might feel about stuff like this, but I feel like he probably misses Seattle in the sense that he misses like
What he had.
yeah, he misses his dad and
Yeah.
he misses his home and he misses like Lila.
Also, I don't want to be like, I love living here, it's great, you know? Because they're living in Clarence Stevens' house.
Yeah, and like I don't know, I've said before that like I find there to be some merits for sure for living in small towns or in the countryside, even for all their faults. But I feel like I imagine that for Sean and Daniel, not only have they like just got here and they don't have good memories here, like when they talk about being a lot younger, but also like Claire and Stephen aren't creating a comfortable environment.
No.
So
Yeah, I think I'll go with mine. I miss Seattle.
I miss Seattle. My friends. There's so much more to do in the city.
There's more crime, more traffic. Nobody can go out anymore.
I think there's crime everywhere.
I love Seattle, but it's cool here
yeah,
too.
the crimes that
Oh, it's
you, for
certainly
example, are
safer for
committing.
children. Everybody out here is a neighbor. We try to lend a hand.
I don't know how
That's
true
to
that
Charles
is.
next door. He lost his wife and
I mean, you're also not lending a hand. You've just
Yeah.
sort of...
been hard on him and his
Yeah,
son.
I don't really
He
think
would
they're
just
helping
get
Charles.
lost in
No.
Seattle. But we're all
Like-
taking care of him here.
I don't know.
How old is
The
his son?
she's presented
I
as a
think he's
threat
your
in
age.
Captain Spirit, right? Like,
Yeah, I would say so.
it feels scary.
Yeah, and it feels like, you know, if she knows, then she'll call the police and
Yeah.
everyone will get in trouble and everything will fall apart. and,
Yeah,
like,
it definitely
that's not
feels.
help.
Yeah, scary as a concept. Like that would happen.
Yeah.
Like Chris doesn't want to be. Like he may, you know, not be the happiest where he is, but
But he loves his
Stop
dad,
it,
right?
crazy.
Like, and his dad isn't a bad guy.
Yeah,
his dad
this is
just
it.
doesn't
It's
love
What's
him.
going on back there?
Nothing.
yeah, but yeah. Sorry, I was
thought
just like I
Stephen
want
was
to
a
keep
fast eater.
reinforcing.
Hey, Grandma,
No, as
I
in
wanted to ask
for
you
like Daniel.
about that locked room
No, I agree.
upstairs.
It's consistent with what we said before.
I told
Yeah.
you
I
there
want to
is
kind of keep
nothing to
things
see in
consistent
it.
and not
Daniel.
confusing.
Why were you in it this morning then?
Because there's a lot of old junk in there.
Was it? But yeah, like she's not really helping Chris. Like,
No, like I think it shows how like a policing mentality or like policing in general is incompatible with like community care actually, because like caring for Chris doesn't look like reporting Charles to the police and having them separated and like blah blah blah. Like what she as an adult can do is like actually support Charles to like look for help for his alcoholism and look for work. She could offer to care for Chris sometimes.
yeah, like she could make sure they're both eating properly. Like,
yeah,
there's all sorts of things that she could have done that aren't what she does.
that aren't. Yeah, instead she's like, I'm gonna come and come around and have a look and see if everything's okay, and if it's not, then I'm gonna call the police.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not helping anyone.
It's also just like, it's not making it her, like, she is not caring to do that. Like, even if the police were in some completely flipped world, like, actually helpful, that would still mean she has, like, moved the problem to someone else, right? Like, she's not actually done anything herself.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides, it's not safe for you to explore, okay?
This is bullshit.
Daniel, language. Why don't you go explore outside? You sure look like you're getting better.
Sean's got such
Get
a
some
like.
fresh air.
I'll wait for Sean, and then we'll go. We won't be loud. Promise.
But be careful nobody sees you.
Well, also, like,
Stay
this
in
is
the
so
back,
suffocating for a
okay?
child. I think it gives you some insight into how, like, Karen must have felt growing up in this household.
Yeah. Because, like,
Maybe you should tell him that it was Karen's room.
technically,
Maybe you should tell
I
him
understand.
to watch his
I
mouth.
understand why they're doing what they're doing in terms of like making sure that. I mean,
It's
again,
just a room now, Sean.
it would be far more useful for them to actually like provide more material help than just like house arrest. But I get why they want them to not be found by the police, which is again interesting considering how much they. But again, because it would be their complicity more than anything else, right?
And it isn't a long-term solution, like,
No.
by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think that they are capable of offering a long-term solution because they're so fucking, like, in another planet when it comes to what their grandchildren are experiencing.
But yeah, I wonder, like, in terms of what was like for Karen, because obviously this is a very specific situation, but like growing up there, that's their solution to stuff. Like they're giving like, you know, you disobey our rules, you're grounded. Like you can't leave your room unless, or like we won't give you dinner, or like, those kinds of restrictive solutions of punishment.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what this is giving.
Yeah, like punitive as well. And like it's in a child's nature to want to like explore and like blah blah blah. Like it's just not a way of living.
Especially in a new place, like, yeah, I feel like Daniel does want to engage with like what's outside his door, and yeah,
I don't know. I think that the thing that I would say is that my attitude towards calling social services is more or less exactly my attitude about calling the police.
yeah,
Like, I think there's almost always a better solution.
yeah, I can agree with that. I think, yeah. I mean, yeah, no, I agree with that. I think, like, if the situation is that this child cannot live there, then finding ways to take care of that child is a better solution than...
Yeah, like, for example, I don't know, if, like, some extended family or a neighbor or someone can, like, step into... Like, if the child absolutely, like, needs to be taken out of that environment, like...
Yeah.
There's got to be another way, like...
There's better ways.
Because social services is going to remove that child from their environment and put them into a system which is deeply traumatizing. They're going to put that, is that child going to be able to contact their family ever again if they wanted to? Is that child is going to be put with, like, foster families that, like, statistically speaking, are incredibly likely to abuse that child.
Yeah.
They're likely to be, like, forced between homes, like, on a near yearly basis. Like, it's just, I think that there's almost always, like, something you can do that is a better option than calling social services.
It
like,
just
for real.
requires, like, potentially more sacrifice that people are not willing to make, which is often the problem. And again, in Claire's case, that is the problem. She doesn't want to take care of Chris.
Yeah, and it's a good point because, like, part of the problem is, like, our individualistic society. Because, like, if, I don't know, again, like, we were talking about, like, how Palestinians are reacting in times of crisis. Palestinian culture and a lot of Arab cultures are, like, highly collectivist cultures. So, like, if something, like a situation that Chris is in ever happened, then there would almost certainly be, like, extended family or a neighbor or someone who would, like, step in to look after the child.
Yeah.
Like, because that is, like, what the structure of that society is like. So it's both, so part of the thing that we have to work on is also, like, building a culture, like a community culture that's better at being willing to, like, make those kind of sacrifices and stuff.
I wonder, like, because I know that, like, in those situations, like, if social services do get called, they supposedly obviously look for, like, oh, the family first. But if someone did just start looking after this child with, like, no official legal paperwork, I still think if the police ever found out, they would also still take away this child.
Almost certainly.
Because it would be not their legal guardian.
Almost certainly. Yeah.
Which again is violent.
Yeah. Deeply, deeply, deeply violent.
Just truly evil.
Yeah, fully.
Like, yeah. I feel like what interests me about the ways that adoption are often, like, treated, it's always treated as, like, out of context, right? But, like, as in you take a child out of their context and put them in a different context. It, after a while of waiting, probably. I'm like, is it not better to have them with someone they know closer to that context than with a complete stranger who just happens to have, like, filled out the right paperwork and have money?
Yeah.
Nothing to see.
Yeah, I think that's something that we really need to work on, is teaching people to not call social services, just like we're teaching people to not call cops.
Yeah.
Why lock it then? That's a good question.
Why lock it then? It feels like you're hiding something.
There's no secret. We just want to move on with our lives,
The
Sean.
secret is that you don't want to engage with the fact that you were shitty parents.
So nobody goes in the room, okay? I'm serious.
You'd rather pretend you don't have a daughter.
This is kind of hitting me personally right now.
Yeah, they'd rather pretend they don't have a daughter than, like, yeah. I think Sean's curious. Like, Sean would be curious.
Yeah, I think it could go either way. Like, I think that, you know, he could be, like, very angry and not willing to engage, but I want to lean into, like, especially for Daniel.
Yeah, for Daniel's sake, I want to find out as much information as I can.
Did Mom ever contact you? She only talked to Dad a few times. Then she was gone.
Yes, she was. You know, Sean, I don't really want to talk about this anymore. It's over. Anyway, you have to respect my rules under my roof. Okay?
Chill out.
Yeah, it's complicated because I do have a belief in, like, respecting people's boundaries and stuff, like, especially if I'm in their home. But, like, that's a very different thing, especially... One, I'm thinking about the context where I'm, like, a guest in someone's home. I think that, like, when you are sharing a home with someone, like, either you, like, live with flatmates or whatever, or your family, then you should all collectively have a say in what the boundaries and the rules of that home are.
I also think it's not that they are not wanting to talk about it in this moment, it's that she never wants to talk about it.
She never ever wants to talk about it, and, like, everything has
With
to
no
be on her.
negotiation.
Yeah. Everything has to be on her terms, and it's her rules.
Yeah.
Like, nobody... It's not a democracy in that house.
No.
Like...
It's an authoritarian state.
It's the dictatorship of Claire Reynolds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, Meg Star. Welcome back.
Don't know. What do we think?
I think that as much as fuck Claire, I think it's, like, rude and weird to say chill out. So.
Yeah.
Of course. Always.
I appreciate that, Sean. Now you better go find your brother. There's a shed with some old toys outside. I'll bet Stephen has the key.
Daniel will freak. Thank you.
Oh my god. Are you looking at... Are you seeing that mask on the wall? Behind Sean's head?
Behind
No,
Sean's
no,
head?
sorry, in front of it.
Oh, what, this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
I wonder where this was taken. I don't picture Claire and Steven as world travelers. Where was that picture of you guys
Clearly in the
on the
worst
beach
possible
from?
way.
To Hawaii when Stephen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Boo.
That's so cool. Did you
Don't
guys ever
go
go
to
anywhere else?
Hawaii.
It's as far outside of the country as we want to go. There's plenty to see around here.
I think I've seen more than enough.
I get
Ick.
it, but
Native Hawaiians are telling us not to go to Hawaii.
it's still your home, Sean.
Yeah, well... I just need some time.
So did you hear that she
Yes.
said that's as far out of the country as we want to go?
Hawaii?
Yeah. We'd rather go to, like, a state than
Yeah, I saw... You know,
outside of the US.
You know, I saw on TikTok the other day that, like, you know those people that go
I better
around,
catch
like,
up with Steven
interviewing
and get
people,
those keys.
asking them, like, random questions on the street and stuff.
Yeah.
There are loads of kinds of... So this one guy was asking, he went up to a girl and he asked, like, something like...
Daily narrative.
which state, like which number state or something like that is Hawaii, and she looked completely
It's-
incredulous. She was like, "What the fuck?"
It's fine,
And
really.
she was like, "Hawaii is a
You don't
country,"
have to.
Yeah.
and I was like, "Queen shit,
Yeah.
queen shit." Yeah, everyone's friendly reminder that Hawaii is colonized by the United States. It's occupied land.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to be
But
in your
that
family.
adds an extra dimension to what Claire was saying.
Yeah.
Oh, don't draw me.
Like, we would only ever want to go somewhere that's been
I'm a
occupied
mess.
by the US.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm
Which,
drawing
I mean,
the
it's
whole
the whole
room.
Just as far as we want to go.
It's so
which is the
nice
whole
to
land,
see
by
you
the way. All the
practice.
land's
Mhm.
stolen, but
You're so passionate.
I'm not moving.
that's by the
Hope I
by.
look good.
Oh, sketch time.
Don't sketch Claire.
I don't want Claire
looked
in
enough.
my precious
Time to
memories.
draw now.
I'm not moving. Hope I look good.
Okay.
Boo.
I'm not moving.
I didn't memorize what I'm drawing.
Oh, the
I
drawing
need to
part
take
was
a look.
glitching on your game.
Oh.
There she is.
Gee, I could never do
I'm
that.
not moving.
I have a friend
Hope
who
I look good.
is Puerto Rican, and she's very adamant about it being a country and not American.
Fair.
Yeah, correct.
Sorry if that was like the wrong terminology. Sorry. I've sort of been half trying to
I'm
play the
not
game.
moving.
But yeah,
Hope I look good.
that was the wrong terminology. It's not a state, obviously. But yeah. I think I phrased it as a state.
That's okay.
But,
We've clarified it now.
hmm
But yeah.
I'm not moving.
but of course,
Hope I look good.
Claire and Stephen probably do consider it as part of the US, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty good.
I'm not moving.
But I can
Shut
add more
up,
details
Daniel.
if I want.
Swear to God.
Pa, 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 pa.
I'm not moving. Hope I look good.
I hope he looks good.
It's kind of neat how, like, when you're drawing people, like they slightly move,
I'm
not
but
moving.
it just captures
Hope
like
I look good.
the
The
frame, the frame in which Sean is drawing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not moving. Hope I look good.
Love you, Daniel, but
Poor man.
please
Fuck up.
We've all been there.
draw the line.
Okay.
Achievement unlocked.
Tried one of Claire's books yesterday. It's basically a telenovela with white old women.
Real.
What was with those pictures of stags?
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
Stephen. Oh my god, the bear. Is that like the gas station carving? Of
Yeah,
the bear?
it is.
Finally,
Yeah, and
some
he's got that
fresh air.
stag head on the wall and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Gotta get those shed keys from
Ick.
Stephen first.
I do wonder what these books are meant to be like in reference to. Like, I want to know, is it like a Jilly Cooper vibe? Like, what's the
It
situation?
looks like a series.
Yeah. No problem. Have you ever seen any actual fish in there?
Never.
Huh. Why would you have an empty aquarium?
It's very unhinged. It's very
Claire and
unhinged.
Stephen are super kind to us, but
Don't know if they are, huh?
No, they
a
are
bit
not.
smothering.
Yeah, that's not smothering unkindness, that's...
Think I need a handy assistant.
Oh my
Can
God,
you
okay, we're
hand
about
me
to
the
have that
blue in the
conversation.
cupboard behind me?
Sure.
He's got a
Whoa.
fucking axe on the
Careful.
wall and-
Sorry,
Yeah.
I forgot.
That's
That thing
super
isn't
fucking
too stable.
dangerous.
I know.
Let me just...
Okay.
Fucking Stephen.
Sorry.
My fault. Your grandmother keeps telling me, but
That is also a very specific type
I'm a
of
lazy
white man.
old man.
What? Who?
Like, never gets round to
Can you
things.
close the
yeah,
door?
well, yeah.
I wanna
Like,
talk
will
for a
literally let things
Oh.
be actively dangerous.
Great.
And, like, not do anything
second.
about
It's
it.
the power cable, of course. Yeah, it happens all the time.
There's his hat.
So,
Yeah.
listen, I've noticed things with Daniel. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Ooh.
Okay, I gotta say, I don't super remember the the consequence trees or anything for this one, or what I've done in the past and how I felt about it.
There is something where basically it does tie back to that cupboard, like that cupboard falls on him, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah.
And
I remember
Daniel
that.
helps to put it back up again.
Or
I'm-
maybe he will, or maybe he won't, depending on some decisions that have been made about what you tell him
Yeah.
to do. But
Lost
I
Fairy
don't
says
remember-
time to gaslight gatekeep game assist.
always.
uh-huh.
But I don't remember like what the impact of whether you tell him the truth or not is. You know.
I think I told them last time, but I can't remember what felt different as a result of them doing. I feel like it felt like, I don't know, it was just easier because we weren't keeping that secret, I guess, but again.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I feel conflicted, because I guess that I can just say like my feeling because I don't even really remember what the impact is, so
Yeah.
I can't really even metagame it.
Yeah, we can just
But,
take it
like-
as it is.
But like I just don't trust Clarence even
Yeah.
is the thing.
That's fair.
So like part of me has an instinct to not want to tell them things because I just don't trust them, you know.
You can't use the power if you lie to him. Then he just gets more hurt. What are you gonna do?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm happy to gaslight gatekeep game assist.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Fuck it.
Not really. What things?
Well, I'm not sure how to put it. Like,
What are you
some
talking about,
kind
Stephen?
of
You some
invisible force.
weirdo. You've been watching too many
A holy
films.
gift.
What?
What are
Yeah.
you doing? Yeah.
Daniel likes to pretend he's got superpowers, but that's it.
That's it? Okay. But be careful, Sean. He's still so young.
Sure.
And by the way, let's keep this between us. Claire has a
Weird
lot of strong beliefs. She wouldn't understand.
Claire has a lot of
She
strong
adores
beliefs in God.
just
I have a lot
wants
of strong
both of you to
beliefs
be
in
safe.
Donald Trump.
Yeah. Go figure.
What I'm trying to say is that maybe you should stay here with us. I know you boys plan to run to Mexico.
When did we ever
We
say that
didn't
we
say
planned
that.
to run to Mexico? We never told you that shit.
Yeah, that's so weird.
I don't know, I keep thinking about like what cognitive dissonance you have to have going on to like have grandchildren who are Mexican American and then like have these kind of political beliefs, but like that it happens all the time. We see it all the time, don't we? I think in a way it's why it's important, like especially as an abolitionist, to resist the temptation to view Republicans as some kind of like evil backwards mob.
Yeah.
Because I think that we do need to understand and engage on a human level with why people are Trump supporters.
Yeah.
But I don't know, especially because like we can't always put it down to people being like complete all out fascists or neo-Nazis even.
No, often I think generally for me, how I guess rationalize a lot of those choices is that people aren't stupid and they can see that there is something wrong in the world. They obviously have been led to believe that this, or at least they feel in some way like that is the solution, or they feel like that is a unifying cry for them.
Yeah.
Obviously, I also agree that there's something wrong with the world. That's not the route I take. But for me, that's what I can kind of understand it as, I guess, of like, that they have noticed something is wrong, and that should be a good thing. But they are using, they have done what feels comfortable to them in that, rather than challenging their own
beliefs.
Belief system.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about, right?
And it's easier and more tempting, right, to just blame it on someone else.
Yeah, it's true, to like reinforce your existing beliefs, or to find some kind of scapegoat or something.
Yeah.
I don't. ContraPoints has this really good video about incels. Have you seen it?
I have, but it's been a long time.
I think about it a lot because it made me think about things that I hadn't necessarily considered before, and I think it's important to. And I haven't necessarily been in the headspace that I would want to pursue that line of thinking, but I'm glad that a white woman did.
Yeah.
Or like, anyway,
That makes sense.
in that like her video, for people who don't know, like it's just a really like good breakdown of like why young men, especially young white men, like in the Western world, are vulnerable to like this, to being propagandized into the system of belief, and that a lot of it has to do with the fact that like young men are experiencing like a crisis of identity because of like the challenges to patriarchy which are happening.
Yeah.
And like the fact that men's identity is supposed to be built on these patriarchal ideals which were promised to them, and then a lot of the things that they feel entitled to are being kind of denied to them. And yeah, I think that thinking like deeply and critically, and even like empathetically about like why young men become propagandized into like incel like ways of thinking is something that's, you know, important to do. And I think similarly it doesn't help anyone when we just think of like Republicans or Trump supporters or conservatives or
like
whoever
as a monolith, because
because it's actually like dehumanizing.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it's actually is dehumanizing. And then
Yeah.
and then liberals are always like confused as to why. I mean, they're always baffled, right? Because they paint like Republicans or Trump supporters as being these like two-dimensional evil caricatures. They don't see like human beings who have like anger and pain that's being channeled in completely the wrong direction.
But it is existing, and that is something that if we ever want to remove, like if we ever want to defeat fascism, like we have to understand that.
Yeah.
Like we have to engage with that, because otherwise there are always going to be people who feel ostracized, and us saying they're just Trump supporters, they're this like monolith, is actually pushing them further towards, like further into that community.
Yeah, 100%. Especially like I think it's really important to say that most of the people that we're talking about, like most of this demographic is like poor, like
Usually
like poor white people.
Usually in quite like rural communities. Like I mean, so much of America is not city. Like
yeah.
And again, once again, I know that my bias on cities is coming through, but like, I think when you're in a very isolated community and like which is only filled with other white people, like, and you are told by Fox News that, you know, immigrants are what's causing all the problems in this country, and you're poor and you're suffering.
Yeah.
There's nothing to challenge that belief system in your life.
Yeah, and also like a tool of the work of the ruling class is like divide and conquer, and we have to be challenging that. And
absolutely.
Then that's really important as well. But yeah, I think that like in this situation, I feel like I don't think it's Sean and Daniel's responsibility to take on some kind of emotional labor to teach their grandparents to not be racist, but I think that like there does need to be that approach. But
I think I mean, obviously you mentioned ContraPoints. I think something that ContraPoints does really well, and she gets a lot of shit for it actually, is that empathy. And I think it's so interesting to see how much backlash she gets on these things, because it shows how few people truly believe in transformative justice.
It's something I actually really like about ContraPoints.
I think she's very good at it, and I'm glad she does it, because
I am.
Obviously it's hard to do, and like especially like as a person, like she is vulnerable herself as a trans woman in like the public sphere, but she still puts herself through a lot to be able to understand where people are coming from.
Yeah, and like I would say that like, you know, for sure, like with anyone, I don't 100% agree with ContraPoints 100% of the time, but I think that if there's one thing above all else that I really appreciate about her, it's that she always tries to be an empathetic and nuanced voice in a way that honestly not enough people, especially with a platform as big as hers, are.
And yeah, definitely not people on the left generally as well, I find, like especially higher profile people, I think often so often tend towards like liberalism, and
talk about autistic white men being radicalized into the alt-right.
Yeah, well, I also have some personal thoughts on that, but I'm going to be really interested to rewatch that incel video actually, because of stuff that has changed in my own personal life, which I don't want to talk about on here, but is relevant. I think that's going to be really interesting, because a lot of what I've had to be more empathetic in a way that, as in towards people that I disagree with wholly, and also I are violent, like have violent views against like what I am, and it's really hard, and it's not an easy experience at all, especially coming from some, obviously like for ContraPoints it's more of a people at large. For me it's obviously a very like it's very painful for me, and sorry but it is so important, and it's so much of how I've been trying to approach that situation is by is through empathy, and it's
but also it's really
it's really fucking hard.
Like, it's really
Because you also
hard.
just want to kind of punch them in the face, you know?
Yeah,
like,
and like that anger is like so justified.
Yeah,
as well,
definitely.
right? I mean, that's what's so fucking hard about it. But like as well, like you as one person,
yeah,
and like in situations, like one person cannot like de-radicalize someone. I think such
No.
a huge part of it is like the community.
yeah, definitely.
Right.
And it's, I mean, that's how a lot of the time I think community is such a huge part of it, because community is comfort, and for better or worse, a lot of people who have these beliefs are part of a community, and they were not part of a community before,
Yeah, it's true.
or in the way that they felt they could be themselves, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part, is like you can't, like, removing someone from that community is like the first and biggest and hardest step, because it's so much easier for them to be in that community for themselves. Like, they don't have to challenge themselves. They're probably being uplifted by people around them. Like,
Yeah, it's true. And like what community is really about, like, okay, yes, on one hand, like it's about support and it's about like all of those things, but on the other hand, like true community, like people will challenge you
yeah.
and they will engage in conflict with you,
Mm-hmm.
and that comes from a place of love and wanting you to be a better person
Yeah.
and like a more a better part of the community.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that in the case of like white men, or in what's being raised in the chat, like autistic white men, for example, there's both the combination of the fact that, like, you know, autistic people experiencing like alienation or you know, social alienation, maybe even like familial abuse and things, as is often common like experience for autistic people. But then also, like, it also in the case of like a white autistic man, you're also thinking about like the feeling of sort of jilted entitlement.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I am a white man and the world tells me that I am entitled to feel powerful or to belong, and that everything is supposed to be for me, but because I'm autistic, like, that's not my experience.
Yeah.
And so there's like a bitterness and a jilted entitlement, and it's like similar, like James Baldwin talks about this with regards to like white gay men, that there's like this feeling of jilted entitlement, and like that's where a lot of that like nasty stuff comes from.
Yeah.
So also showing love to those people is not just showing them empathy, but also at the same time challenging them. And also, like, within that, you also have to have empathy for yourself.
Yeah.
And like care for yourself, and how like what they are saying and how they're behaving is like hurtful and painful. And yes, it's true at the same time that they are human beings and that they are behaving the way that they're behaving for a reason, but it's also true that they are causing very real and in some cases violent harm.
Yeah.
That's a fucking lot to navigate.
It is.
And like, you can't do that alone. Like, you literally can't do that alone.
No.
None of us
and
can.
I think, that's something like I personally have been trying to look for. Obviously, I'm not going to, again, describe my particular situation here, but like, I've been trying to find community of people who understand the exact situation, I guess, and it's quite hard to find, but I think that is something that I really want to pursue, is like having, I mean, it's in my family, like having someone who has those beliefs in your family is really fucking hard, and it's really it's difficult, and I think finding that community would be really healing for me. Sorry.
No, that makes
It's
a
a
lot of
lot.
sense. You don't have anything to be sorry for.
I mean, we're not even halfway through the game and I'm crying.
How?
It's
Okay, it's very understandable.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's, again, like, going back to ContraPoints, like, it's such an important thing that we need to practice it, because again, it's not easy, but it is a huge thing that we need to be doing. And it doesn't mean, obviously, it's different if you don't know anyone personally who's you know, if you don't know anyone personally who is part of those communities, it obviously takes away that particular emotional pain in that particular way. But it's still hard, and it's still something that, like, yeah, you need to self-care.
Yeah. I mean, I think in a big way, like, often I'm like, I don't know, if I'm exposed to that kind of behavior from a stranger, then, like, often I'm like, I don't need to be interacting with that stranger or engaging with them, like, more. But, like, I think that when it is people, like, in our families, in our communities, like, our friends, then we need to be engaging it. Because I think we also need to think about the fact that cutting people off is also what's easiest and most comfortable for us in the short term.
And it's often not a thing that you can come back from easily, but it also pushes people further into those. Because if you're taking away family and community by cutting people off, then they are going to go further into this found community of, like, radicalized people, as in
bad
radicalized. Obviously, radicalized is not a bad thing, but
as in right-wing radicalized.
I think I'd be very interested to watch that incel video again, because I think it's going to be hard but very useful for me.
And I think in the context of this game, like, my instinct is, like, very, like, you know, towards Steven. I mean, partly because, like, of the issue of racism being, like, what's at stake here.
But also because I feel like it's not Sean and Daniel's responsibility to do that work.
Yeah, they are children, and
they are children.
Grandparents.
And their grandparents are always going to have authority over them. That's just the nature of that family structure. Like, that's just how it is.
Yeah, even if they weren't white.
Yeah.
And I think that, like,
I think there is a lot of role we can play in, like, families, and, like, obviously, like, I think I talked last time about like, you know, slowly chipping away at my family's kind of perspectives on things, and, you know, having moments of going, shit, you've come really far, you know? And there is a role you can play as, you know, a younger person in a family, like, you know, a less empowered person in a family structure, but this is not where you need to be doing that.
Especially not in the specific
No, absolutely not. And, like, I think it's more a case of, like, it's the responsibility of people who have more power. So obviously I am the same race as my family, and, like, you know, we are all white, so there is, like, I feel an obligation, I guess. It's not even obligation makes it sound like I have to do it. I do have to do it, but it's also
responsibility.
Responsibility. That's a better word. The responsibility is mine to do. So yeah.
I'm just gonna get some more Diet Coke.
Yeah. Would you be okay to fill this up with water?
Yeah.
I'll be quick. I can chill. Ugh. Yeah. Thank you, chat, for listening to that. It's again, it's a tricky situation, but yeah, Evelyn, I get you. I get you. I think. Yeah. And I think as well, like, that kind of expectation, that gendered expectation, especially on autistic women. I mean, I don't really know. Like, I don't know. But, like, as far as I'm aware, I'm not an autistic woman. But I am a woman, and I am neurodivergent in that I have ADHD, and I get you. Basically, it is hard to feel that as a responsibility. But yeah, I think obviously in my particular case, I feel like I have responsibility for many other reasons, but yeah, it's hard to, thank you, it's hard to feel like not only do you have to represent, like, a group and then also kind of do that work within that group, because often, yeah, like, as we've said, like, a lot of autistic men specifically are more prone, I guess, to that particular way of thinking, and it's hard to do that work with them as well.
Yeah, I think I would say it's important that we feel a sense of responsibility towards our communities.
Yeah.
That's just a big part of it.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, white supremacist individualist culture wants us not to feel like responsible or beholden to other people.
Yeah.
Which is a huge problem. In the case of Stephen, I feel like we don't really have like a whole lot of information about how he became radicalized to like be a Trump supporter. And
but
that
like,
would be interesting to know, but
equally,
like, I'm not surprised.
No, but I also, this is gonna maybe be a little hot take, but I don't know if we can even call like being a Trump voter radicalized.
Okay.
I think it was a pretty, as in, if you kind of think in terms of like popularist thinking rather than like radical politics, I guess. Yeah. Because it, at that time, I mean, maybe even still now, it was pretty like, it was a right wing, like, kind of platform, I guess, but it was still, he still won. Like, it wasn't...
No, I think you're right. I think you're right to say that. I also think that, like, I'm also always hesitant of talking about it like that because, like, I really, from the bottom of my heart, do not think that the Democrats are any better than the Republicans.
No.
But I think that, like, because Trump's rhetoric was so openly fascistic.
Yeah.
But also, again, I don't know, like
I don't know if I
liberalism
would
is
say...
highly fascistic as well, and now like Democrats who like sit on their high horse about how they're better than Trump supporters are like openly advocating for genocide. Yeah. So I don't know.
But yeah, I just don't know if like I would necessarily consider that as much radicalization rather than like what white men in America feel most of the time. I don't think it's an active process in the same way it is for like maybe these more niche communities like incels, but like I don't know, I think being a Trump voter,
it's actually just bog standard propaganda.
Yeah,
I think that's actually a really fair take.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm being too spicy here, but like the problem is it was very normalized, and that's why he won. Like,
no, I think you're right, actually.
I don't know. Yeah. And like I think there are a lot of people who voted Trump who maybe didn't vote for him again, but like voted Trump at the time because the propaganda was fucking overwhelming. And like,
also like Hillary Clinton is like awful.
Also awful.
Like, she's literally a war criminal.
Yeah, like it wasn't...
She's not... But she was never a better option.
No.
Like, she literally...
And like...
And all of this lesser of two evils bullshit drives me insane as well.
It's just, how is anyone meant to feel motivated and interested in party politics when the conversation is always lesser of two evils? Like, when has it not been the lesser of two evils?
Literally. Maybe this means that the entire system is evil.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. Like, the kind of establishment wants us to care about, like, this kind of political system.
Yeah.
And wants us to engage, supposedly. And they try and get young people involved, and they try and bring on young people, but the second someone with, like, any actual like leftist beliefs is on a platform, they are like destroyed. You have to be liberal to be able to survive in that space, which again means it's not a democracy. Yeah.
No, that's really fair enough.
Yeah. I can't even remember the question.
Something about our plan to go to Mexico.
Yeah. Maybe why not? Challenge him?
Yeah.
Thanks. Maybe we could, but...
Oh yeah, he said maybe you stay here.
Why not?
I know, being out
Oh,
of the station
shit.
farts isn't exciting, but this is your home.
No, that's not what I meant. Shit!
Kind of different, but
Oh well.
Never
I
mind.
just don't want you to get into
Oopsies.
trouble because of us.
It's dangerous to be on the road. Do you think your father would have wanted
Don't
this
talk
for his
about
kids?
what my father
Also-
wanted.
Esteban would not have wanted him fucking here. Let's put it that way. I'm gonna say you don't know him.
Yeah, we made one mistake. Now let's do a complete 180.
You
Yeah.
don't know him. You never even tried to. So don't speak for him.
Sorry. You're right, Sean. It was complicated
Okay.
We've heard
your
that
move.
before.
with Karen.
It's complicated.
I know.
It's not a fucking Facebook status.
Sorry for
Yeah,
yelling it.
but at least, you know,
Hey,
slightly better reaction than
Yeah.
Claire said you had the keys
like
for
an
the tool
apology.
shed.
What?
Oh,
Sort of.
sure.
Not a very good one.
No, I wouldn't.
I know the bar is in hell.
Yeah.
Here. You guys enjoy the sun.
Oh yes, this lovely warm sun
And your
outside.
brother's shed. It's probably a mess inside.
Thanks.
Yeah, I also think he probably would have wanted to be alive to take care of his kids. Still,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
that would be good.
Why is that giving that post?
Yeah, I think yesterday was Gabe Chan's birthday. And someone,
Why?
the
No,
Life
I
is Strange
can't.
account tweeted like, "It's Gabe Chan's birthday. What do you think he would want today?" And someone quote tweeted it saying,
Cool.
"To be alive."
Oop.
Ruh-roh.
I mean, they're not wrong. But like, whoa.
Ah, there you are, Sean. Got the key? Hey, I have to go out and run some errands. Can you do me a big favor? Do you know how to work a washing machine?
Since I was about 8.
Yeah,
Of course.
checks out.
Can you throw in yours and your brother's
Older
clothes after the next
sibling.
load?
Well, also just
In
like
the bathroom basket.
single parent
Totally.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
No
Older
problem.
sibling,
Thanks
single
so
parent.
much.
yeah.
Feel
free
Also,
to
like,
keep
father
on
worked
tidying
full
your
time.
stuff,
Like,
too.
she obviously
It's good for the health
is
to
a
keep the house
housewife,
clean.
right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
The way
Daniel
she's
can
presented anyway. Like, she
And
didn't
remember,
have a job.
for your own safety, no
Most
phone
of, like,
and no internet.
Karen's upbringing, I
No
presume.
boring
So
rules.
she
Don't
she just did
worry,
all of
Claire.
that presumably and was expected to and never got the
Hey,
kids involved.
Daniel!
Yeah.
There's work for you.
No. I'm busy.
Busy my ass. Come over here.
Busy doing what, Daniel?
Gotta find me first.
Jeez.
A single mom who works 2 jobs.
See you tonight, buddy.
Draw.
Oh yeah. Where?
No, it's,
What
I think
book?
that's what that board game is called.
Oh, it's like I get an opportunity to draw on something. The dusty crockery cabinet is really something.
I don't
I get
believe
that he's sick of all
Claire
this shit, but
Reynolds would have a dusty crockery
why
cabinet.
are we playing
I
this
do.
game?
I feel like
Really?
they're old people for starters, but like as in they collect shit. As in, you know, like when old people
right.
just be collecting shit,
Right,
like
I guess.
plates and shit.
Okay.
I don't know.
I just feel like she would be dusting it.
and we'll see what he says about it.
What's even the point of having so much crockery?
Yeah, it's just like crockery to show off that you have extra money for plates. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
It's like ornament, like all the like old ornaments, or like when old people like collect stuff. Like my uncle's really into collecting brass things.
Okay.
I know. Again, men have like maximum 4 hobbies. Especially older men. It's like you get to a point in life and it's like, well, I've got to decide on my
Clean
hobbies
kitchen
now.
equals clean conscience.
It's literally just putting a box of cereal away.
I know. These fuck ass tiles.
Should we see Claire's recipes?
Oh god. Yeah.
Mm.
Coconut
I
flan.
could totally be on one of those cooking shows.
I don't know how I feel about
She would
that
be
as a
brutal.
concept.
Coconut flan? Yeah, I'm not sure.
It sounds sickly in a way that I don't approve of.
I like flan and I often like
Yeah.
coconut, but
Pretty
I
different
just
from the
feel
one
like
we
that
had
would be a
back at
lot of
home.
coconut.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the two together.
No.
I feel like you'd need something to balance out the coconut flavor.
If it had like a cardamom or something in it,
Ooh.
that I would fuck with.
Yeah, yeah.
But obviously, Claire's never seen a spice in her life, so.
Vacuum, fold towels, and fixed drawer for Stephen, who I'm gonna guess has not fixed the drawer or even done any of this. Sean and Daniel, tidy room, put clothes in washing machine, hug grandparents. Claire, everything else.
Okay.
She's so like the victim of her own story.
Yeah. Again, also a certain type of white woman.
Yeah.
Especially like
Where the
mom.
hell is he hiding?
I guess I'll do everything.
Just oh my god.
Do you want any help? No, don't worry about it.
No, it's fine.
No, it's
I'm
fine.
fine. I'll just hold it against you for the next week. Okay. Daniel. Where the fuck are you?
Feels so good to be safe at last.
Hmm.
Oh, buddy.
No.
Yeah, there's also something about like I know that we were talking about the beginning, like the
I
conditional.
know you're in there. Gotcha.
Oh.
What the?
Ugh.
Behind you!
Yeah.
Gonna give this boy a heart attack, Daniel.
Honestly, there is no like actual security for racialized like children in American society, and like the kind of conditional like illusion of safety that they had in their kind of suburban Seattle life, and I feel like that kind of comes up again here.
Yeah, it's like it was never safe. It was never gonna be safe, truly.
Yeah, I think it's like it's a temporary comfort, but
Yeah.
it's not like safety or security by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
Very funny. No more hiding. Seriously.
Okay. What do I have to do?
You tidy the mess in our room, and I take care of the laundry. Cool?
Again? We always have to clean everything. I don't wanna.
Same.
Yeah, I hear you. Never
I
mind.
get
okay.
you.
What?
Cool.
No.
No.
Thanks, Sean.
What? I didn't make that decision.
No.
Absolutely not.
What?
I didn't. Is it because I did like I cleaned up
Man.
that game board maybe,
How
and it
did
just
we
was
survive
like,
for
well,
weeks
you
and
wanna
no hot water?
do it all then, I guess.
I don't know. Jeez.
You know what, Daniel? What you gotta do is
I
get
know that
yourself a
it-
boyfriend
Alright.
who loves tidying,
Let's get it over with.
and then make the mess so that he can clean it up.
Yeah.
A beautiful, delicate ecosystem that I'm sure Chris loves. Anyway, sorry.
All right.
Yeah, I
Time
guess
to
that
take
like
care of
we've
that
made
laundry.
some kind of decisions, but I don't know
Thanks,
what
Claire.
decisions they are that have led to like Sean just automatically letting Daniel off the hook. But
Yeah.
I would have wanted to tell him to do his chores.
Yeah. Why is there a lack of picture there?
Huh.
There's a lot of, I've noticed there's a few little bits, so
I'm
there's like a
gonna-
lack of picture.
I'm gonna guess like pictures that had Karen in.
Well,
Pictures
initially
that
I
had Karen.
thought that, however,
But what?
they're like really dirty around, but they're like quite clean in the middle.
I think
and,
that's
like,
just
if
trying
they
to
were-
show.
But wouldn't it be like still a bit dirty inside? Like that's pretty much immaculately clean inside, right?
What, like it's been recently removed?
Yeah,
I guess, but I don't know.
that's what it looks like to me. But I don't know if it's just like a design choice.
No, I think that's fair enough, but I wonder if it's just like if they put that much detail into it, or if it's the game trying to show like, look, there's
Yeah.
clearly something.
Maybe.
It's possible that
Maybe they
them
took it down when they
Sean
came.
and Daniel
Like it
came,
could
but
be like from manga gatherings. I don't know. Like who knows? You know.
maybe, yeah.
But
But it makes sense that it would be pictures of Karen. Like
Yeah.
it was
that seems
interesting,
like what it's more likely the game is trying to say.
Yeah, especially like remember in Life is Strange the stuff with like taking down Williams
Yeah.
photos. And
Yeah,
Can't believe
that's
it's
true.
already been a week since
I also
we
find
got
it
here.
interesting in the context of like when we said earlier with Claire probably being quite clean. like, it looks gross.
It
Like,
does. Yeah.
it's stressing me out just looking at it. And again, I'm not a tidy or clean person, really. So, I don't know. Oh, no, I forget. They don't keep it in the kitchen, do they?
No. I think that so my washing machine is in the kitchen, not by my own choice. I think that the
Sorry,
kitchen
it's
is
something I have normalized so much in my head.
I think the kitchen is a cursed place to have a washing machine.
Okay, I respect that. Is it upstairs?
I just don't want to be cleaning my clothes in the same place that I'm like cooking and.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I just assumed because most places. Oh.
Gee, don't know why crooked frames stress me out like this.
Oh wait.
Hey man,
Wait.
can you
No.
fix this frame up there?
Sorry. Shit.
I don't think it's that deep if we made one mistake, but it's up to you. We were like, wait a minute, that's inconsistent with us
No.
telling him to only use his
there
powers.
you
Oh
are, Sean.
shit. Okay, sorry.
I think
guys.
you can skip
Hey.
it, maybe. Can you?
I have to go out and run some errands.
No.
Can
Okay.
you do me
Not
a big
this
favor?
particular bit.
Do you know how to work a washing machine?
Since I was
Fine, this
about
won't
8.
take that long.
Of
I
course.
was like, this could go back to
you
wherever.
throw in your
Honestly,
little
I do
brother's
not know
clothes
how
after
far
the
back
next
this
load?
goes.
They're in the
Unfortunately,
bathroom
we
basket.
cannot change
Totally. Yeah.
Daniel refusing to do his chores.
No
or
problem.
whatever.
Thanks
Yeah,
so
like I
much.
don't know what we
Feel
have
free to
done
keep on tidying your stuff too.
to let
It's good
that
for
happen.
the
Because
health to
I'm
keep the
assuming
house
it
clean.
is
Definitely.
usually a thing that you can do.
Daniel.
Like,
And remember, for your own safety, no phone and no internet. I know, boring
I
rules.
do what I want.
Don't worry, Claire.
Become ungovernable.
Become uncomfortable.
Hey Daniel, there's work for you.
No. I'm busy.
Busy my ass. Come over here.
You gotta find me first.
Jeez, I know you're in there. Gotcha. What the?
Behind you.
Yeah, very funny. No more hiding. Seriously.
Okay. What do I have to do?
You tidy the mess in our room, and I take care of the laundry. Cool?
Again? We always have to clean everything. I don't wanna.
Yeah, I hear you. Never mind, okay?
I mind.
Thanks, Sean.
Oh yeah, being cheaper to use the existing plumbing, that makes sense.
Alright, let's get it over with. Alright, time to take care of that laundry.
There
Thanks,
doesn't really
Claire.
seem to be consensus about the combination of decisions that lead to
Interesting.
him refusing to do his chores, but it has a lot to do with like whether or not you get mad at him for stuff and whether or not we kind of like help him and teach him to do stuff.
Feels
and
so
like
good
just
to be safe
just
at
a
last.
combination of a lot of the
I
little
see.
interactions.
Interesting.
But it's actually quite hard to
yeah,
pin down. But let me keep
interesting.
looking.
How many programs does this thing have?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
That's true, and
It will
but
do.
it's just that I hate it. I was just expressing that I hate it.
Yeah, that's reasonable. It's not something I've ever really given much thought to because it's so common in UK houses, but yeah.
Boring laundry? Done.
But yeah, it's a weird one,
Time
right?
for
'Cause
fresh
I-
air.
I'm so sorry. What's one person on a stream, on a Steam forum
Yeah.
replies, "I don't know. Daniel refused in my playthrough as well. Heck, I can't even get my own kids to pick up after themselves."
Amazing.
Oh, bless.
Wow.
Yeah, that one's actually quite difficult to pin down. But
Interesting. Again, such a like sophisticated mechanic, really, isn't it? Like, damn.
yeah, I mean, there's such a combination of like a lot of tiny like decisions that
man.
you might not even think about.
Put all your
Yeah.
toys in the trash, dude.
What? Really?
Of course not. But next time you bail on me, maybe I will. I don't even know how Beaver Creek looks like. We're not allowed to get out.
I don't know if the game is trying to imply that we haven't that we've been too easy on him, or that we haven't put enough boundaries in place with him, but I don't know. Maybe,
but I feel like I don't want to feel like being more prone to punishing him or telling him off is actually productive, because it's not. But I feel like there's still a way to in this point to go, hey, could you can you please just do this one thing, and then I think it would have been nice to get the option to insist, because I think this could have been a learning moment, right? Yeah, exactly. No. Why would I lift the aquarium?
Careful.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Got you.
Oh
Seriously, man.
Can we tell him off?
Yeah, hang on. I think so.
Daniel.
Stop being a brat, Daniel.
We just need to be
this looks cool.
avoiding telling him to use his powers, but
Too bad it's broken.
Yeah. It's actually quite, I mean, I guess I don't remember in detail a lot of the combination of decisions that we made, but
well, we said to him, it's not a never, it's a only
Shut
when necessary.
Look at this fish.
There's a fish now?
Look, without
It's so
power.
beautiful.
I haven't seen any actual fish in there since we got here.
Come on.
Somebody's looking at.
I told you there's a fish in it.
No, there.
Ah.
Yeah. It's fine.
Just hiding.
No
Oh, then
need to
he
use it.
wants to lift that thing so you can see
He
it,
wants
that
to
makes
lift
sense.
the rock. Yeah, he doesn't
Part of
want
it might be
the whole thing.
stealing, which is interesting because that's a different
Can't believe it's
behavior,
already been a
right?
week since we got here.
Yeah, it is a different behavior.
That's not the same thing.
Yeah, I think
Whoa.
I don't know.
Look at all these
I
decorations.
think that you can
That's so
not punish a
cool.
child and have nuanced things about
Daniel,
the morality of stealing,
ready?
but also have
We can go out
boundaries
now.
and teach
Yes.
respect
for
and
me.
boundaries. And
Yeah.
stuff.
And again, it's where it's less sophisticated.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's also the moral structures that the game, the people who made the game, place on you as well. It's not. Yeah, this
man,
game has a
finally.
blanket morality
Feels
system
so
which
good
doesn't
to be
actually
outside.
reflect
Reminds me of the cabin. Right?
your actual morality.
Yeah, and well, it feels sometimes contradictory with the game's themes that it's trying to engage with.
Yeah.
Yeah, occasionally, I think in a lot of ways it's a very
Get ready for
sophisticated
storage wars.
narrative design, but yeah, sometimes it does.
What's wrong?
The morality put on top of that is
Frozen
not
shut.
as
Of
nuanced.
course.
There he is.
Sean, look.
It's your boy. Who should be wearing a fucking jacket. Yeah, at least they have better coat situations now.
Yeah. Hello.
Did you see that?
Gaslight? Gatekeep game assist?
See what?
See what?
What?
We just got here.
We just got here.
You okay?
It's also interesting because
yeah.
you can metagame this
I
from the
didn't
perspective
see
of knowing
anything
Chris,
either.
but
Oh, okay. I just fell down into the snow. Dad says I'm kind of clumsy.
That t-shirt is wicked. Who's your favorite superhero? I love
Power Bear!
Oh,
Fucking love Power Bear.
I love
Mega
Power Bear.
Bear. You should check it
It's
out.
my favorite superhero.
Dude,
He has
That's
the mega
so
power
cool.
bear. This is
Boycott.
what Marvel should be like.
Boycott Marvel, watch
I am
Power
so
Bear.
Yeah.
sorry. Are you okay?
Dad, I'm fine. I promise.
Are you sure? Listen, I shouldn't. Do you know them?
It's okay, Dad. They're cool.
Okay, why is he
loves superheroes, even Power Bear.
why is he reacting that way? Those are two children.
Because
Racism.
racism.
Hey there.
In a very white
Are you
town.
staying with the Reynolds?
And this is a classic case of like.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Not
I
for
just
long.
went straight to gaslight gatekeep goal.
We're just passing
Okay.
by.
I don't think that was a
I
very
see.
sustainable lie. But
No,
it's okay.
but nah,
It's done.
I don't
It's
know.
fine.
I was just like, deny, deny.
Yeah, I mean, I think that
That's
they're neighbors, so it's gonna
you make a good point.
come out.
Eh.
It's fine. It's fine.
Eh.
Oh, jeez, Chris.
What was I gonna
You
say?
don't have any damn shoes on. I'm sorry, buddy. Let's get you inside.
But also just passing through
Yeah.
like could just be like
Okay, Dad.
Thanks,
that
guys.
could mean anything.
Oh,
I was
and,
gonna say the classic
if
thing
Claire
of,
asks,
like, obviously they would
tell
assume that
her
they're not
everything is
related because
fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
they're white and Sean and Daniel are.
That's true. That makes a good point.
But also, like, I think it's more suspicious to be some random children. staying
Yeah,
at the
that's
house
true.
than-
I don't know.
It's okay.
Vibes. She just went on vibes.
It's okay. Let's keep going.
I can't remember the question. Actually, I wasn't listening to the
I think
question.
he said something like everything's fine.
Is it? Or sure.
I think again, like from their perspectives, this is a stranger, and like even
Yeah.
if we get a bad vibe, I don't think it's productive at this stage to be like.
To interrogate that.
Yeah, obviously we are going to have more interactions
Mhm.
with them.
Sure. No problem.
Cool. See you around then.
Fascinating the performance
Thanks,
of like.
guys. See you later.
Yes.
Look,
we
I'm a
will.
great dad to my child.
Daniel,
I'm real.
Did you
I'm
forget
real good.
everything about the
Such
rules
a-
already?
Sorry,
Good
Sean.
dad.
Did you want me to let him fall? Really?
Yeah, again, like this is consistent. It's consistent to say that because we said
He was
only
in danger.
emergency,
Yeah, and there was no other option.
so that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, love Chris, baby boy.
Baby boy.
No, you
I cried so much playing Captain Spirit, like it just
did
really
the
got
right
me.
thing.
It's
Listen.
really fucking good.
Yeah,
Can't let
especially the
anybody
like
know.
Surfing
We have
Stevens
to
like
keep a
little
low profile
music
out
cues.
here.
Just
He's
oh,
like-
Yeah, no, Captain
my
Spirit makes me
age.
cry as well.
Mhm.
I bet you would have done the same exact thing. Don't be mad.
It's when he
I'm
finds his
not
photos
mad,
in the
dude.
mom of his mom in level 4 and he starts crying. That gets me every
So,
time.
Daniel, remember that we're hiding out,
Let the
so
record
no
about
training
Russia's
and no
song.
showing off your power. From now on, you stick with me all the time, okay?
Yeah, I like that Conceider's still like, don't do it again though.
Yeah, I don't feel like we've been doing a bad job of trying to still have boundaries. Again, I don't think that that's the same thing as like punishing him.